With FA Cup success comes my resignation from Newcastle United, which devastated their board. However, I have a quest to complete Glory Hunter, and Leverkusen could be key, which of course could screw my dad over. But needs must, and I am invited in for an interview, whereas dad wasn't once again. And just like that, Leverkusen wasted no time and welcomed me in as their new first team manager, and I was well underway with the task in hand. The Juventus job did come up though, which again was in Europa League, so dad applied. But not even an interview there. Union Berlin then came up, and again, they're in Europa League, but not even an interview. France then won the Euros in 2040, which opened up a lot more job vacancies, like the PSG job when Emery went to manage Spain, and the Aston Villa job after Eddie Howe left for Liverpool, which dad saw as a last-ditch attempt to find a club before the start of the season. But nobody wants to entertain the man who led Real Madrid to a Champions League glory. Well, dad, we are at September, so it's been over a year since your last job, and it's not like you haven't applied for any.
Oh no, I'm at no luck at all. No one wants me. I'm not even getting interviews now. I keep showing people my trophy cabinet and they're not interested.
No, not even making the shortlist.
No.
And this is the thing I've been saying to you. I think you need to go further down the pecking order now, and you need to start building a reputation again. At a club that's going to accept you, because we can see here Aston Villa is the last team that's rejected you. They're still waiting for another manager. I mean, I think 3 or 4 clubs came up that had, it was 4 because it was Leverkusen, Juve, Villa and Union Berlin. So there was 4 clubs that were all in Europa League that came up. Job wise.
The other ones, apart from this one, the other ones, I was like, I've got to apply for them because they're in that position. When this one came up, I really wanted the job tonight.
Yeah.
I felt that Villa could be a team that I could really benefit being in charge of. But
got a cracking team.
Yeah, I just
didn't even make the shortlist.
Didn't get sniffs, no. I'm a bit disappointed. I've got to let the league start now and see how it goes. And I am thinking about, you said, I've probably got to find a team that's not doing very well and then just take over, and obviously try and take over then. So.
Yeah.
And with a cross fingers hoping that a team that's not doing very well. I mean, someone could take over Villa and they're not doing very well at the beginning of the season and sack him, and I could just jump in then. But if they give me an interview, you know. So that's what I'm gonna possibly wait until December because of the January transfer window, and then I'll probably jump in then.
Okay. There was another job actually you applied for which wasn't in Europa League, but I think you even missed the deadline. It was only 2 days later. It was the Liverpool job.
Yeah.
That came up and went straight away. But they were in Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
And you kind of think, well, that's a good competition for them to win because they're on the right team.
They're going to be they're going to be a strong team in that cup, aren't they? So the chances are, if you win that cup, you're automatically put into the Europa League. So then it's a case of just trying to keep them out of the Champions League.
Yeah, that's the trouble.
So yeah,
which is what I'm hoping to do at Bayer Leverkusen. I want to just slowly slip into Europa League in the league. Maybe what will really help me is a good cup run.
Yeah.
And if I don't win the Europa League this year, I can qualify for it again next year. That's kind of my aim and goal, really. And I think I've started quite well because I've only gone and won 2 and lost 1 already. So my Europa League group, this is what I've got to put up with team-wise. Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, obviously Benfica's in there, Juventus, Leeds, who have been in there for quite a few times, Aston Villa, who we mentioned earlier. Some tricky teams, but I think I've got to be one of the favourites in there. So,
yeah, definitely. I think you've definitely improved the team since you took it over.
Yeah, with no money.
With no money, yeah. So
whatsoever.
You've done well to improve.
Yeah.
You've had to create your own money, which is an hard thing to do because sometimes you just can't sell players, can you?
No, absolutely not. I also only have 70% of the transfer revenue. I've got £7 million in there now, but there's nobody really for £7 million that's going to come in and improve the team. So for now, I've just got to bear with it. I've loaned out a couple of players. I've sold a couple of players. But I've also loaned in a few players as well. So these are the players that I have brought in myself. So it was a centre-back. Again, we're not looking at anything too special here, guys. Vassallo, who's a left-back, one of the only good left-backs available on our free transfer, because I had no left-backs, so I had to bring in one at least. A centre midfielder who plays CDM, but I don't actually have a CDM playing right now, but he does play in a few other positions in like an accomplished role. And then we've got a few loan signings. So we've got Mohamed Johnson, who's been starting for me up front. because the strikers that we have, one was injured, one wasn't very good. So we've got this guy coming. He's a bit of a beast, to be fair, a bit of a tank. Got 17 for strength, good finishing, good heading ability. Then we've got Ray-Jean Gibbs from Chelsea. He also plays up front, but does play from that right-hand side as well. So he plays naturally in both those positions, which I think helps me out quite a lot. They wanted to play there most of the time, which I'm kind of happy with as well, really. And then finally, Franco Manelli from Tottenham Hotspur. He plays centre midfield, which is a role we are going to be trying to use in an advanced playmaker. That's what they want him to play, so I'm just going to have to just try and put up with it, because he's better than any centre mid, well, outside of the two that I've got, which is Munoz, who you bought when you were here, and Vlachos, again, a player that you bought. Outside of those two, I had no options, so the loanees, Manelli's going to come in. We've got a couple who it says, like, oh, that's the guy that I obviously brought in on free. But Rodriguez is in that centre attacking midfield role. He's very good as like a shadow striker, can break the line of defence. I've got him in an attacking midfielder role. I might use it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for shadow striker, actually. We're not scoring enough goals. So we'll try that. And we're just going to see how it goes. So sticking with a standard 4-2-3-1 for this season, because as soon as I go to a weird and wacky formation, I get knocked out of cups. So, yeah, one season crack. Maybe two if I can get myself a lucky finish.
I'm fingers crossed now that you just don't. So
I mean, we've only got 3 seasons left.
But I've sat out one complete season and I'm sitting out another half a season. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I missed one season as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's see if Dan can find a job. But if not, let's have a look at my Europa League campaign. Well, my Europa League campaign started off very well, in fact. My only loss early in the league phase was because of a stoppage time winner at Villa Park. And November, there came plenty of jobs coming through. But again, Dad's having no luck. He couldn't even get job interviews in the relegation zone. Meanwhile, in Germany, I was having a great time. Second in the league, top 8 in Europa, with only 1 loss, and quarter-finals of the DFB Pokal. Eventually, finding ourselves in the final of that cup competition against Schalke. But there's only 2 more games that stand in the way of me reaching the Europa League final. Dad, we've gone through the whole season. You've applied for so many jobs.
It's got to be at least 15, 16 jobs.
Not one interview.
Nope.
I don't know whether it's something wrong with the game now. I'm not quite sure, because your profile is good enough. You've got 4.5-star reputation. The clubs that we're going for is nowhere near the reputation that you've got, and some of them are not even entertaining it, saying, you would have been a good candidate, but you're not even on our shortlist.
Well, the Villa one was the prime example in it. I applied for that job twice, and the second time they even said you were a brilliant candidate, but we're just not going to
shortlist you for an interview. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. If you guys have ever experienced that, let us know. You've just applied for 2 jobs which have come up in the Bundesliga, the league that I'm in right now, with Dortmund and Gladbach.
I mean, I'd love to have the Dortmund job, my favourite German side, so did you know that?
No, I didn't. 7th place they finished in, which isn't in Europa League.
No.
But we have got to the end of the season. Where did I finish? 3rd.
Well done.
UEFA for Champions League qualification, which means if I don't win the Europa League this season, I don't have next season. So, I mean, Dortmund, they could potentially get a Europa League. I don't know, actually, whether, unless it goes down to, like, the cup games. I don't know. So, let's have a look. Bayer Leverkusen, Europa League final.
Well done.
Against my former club, Chelsea, who cost me so many times in other scenarios. Now, I've picked the team. I don't have a left back. I don't know how this is going to get on. Like, some of our players are absolutely dreadful because of injuries. We've got loads of different injuries down there. The other thing is, I'm also in the DFB Pokal final. We've had a good season, to be fair.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich ran away with it. Cologne and I were just battling out for 2nd place. They finished in 2nd place. I'm joint there with my old side, Leipzig. Only a point away from actually finishing the Europa League spot again, but there we go. I just need to win it. It goes down to this final day, because if I don't, then I don't think we're going to be able to finish off the series, because you ain't getting a job.
Well, no one seems to want me, so
no.
I'm just sat here enjoying myself watching you.
Yeah, and I'd have to leave the job and find another one and do this all over again. So, let's have a look to see what happens in the Europa League final. Well, the final started off great, and my Leverkusen side took the early lead through Julian Munoz. a player that my dad bought for £1.5 million 6 seasons ago. But the game stayed in limbo for a while until the second half, where Rajon Gibbs, who was on loan from Chelsea, scored the second goal against his parent club. Chelsea then came back firing a minute later to put themselves back in contention, but we held on to the very end, and thus winning the Europa League and completing Glory Hunter in 18 seasons. Finally, Glory Hunter is complete.
Well done. I gotta give it to you. I mean, I've learned so much from this, being my first time I've ever tried it. I've really enjoyed it. It's a shame that it finished the way it did, or I couldn't get a job, but you deserve it, I think.
We could have done with a good showdown at the end, can we?
I mean, we were thinking about if we went the full 20 seasons, how could we finish it then? And it was the only thing we could come up with was who had the most trophies in their cabinet, which would have been you anyway.
Yeah.
Even though you wasn't winning the FA Cup, you was winning leagues, you was winning Carabao Cup.
I was winning Premier Leagues without caring about it.
So I think that even if it went that way, you'd have still won anyway. So congratulations, you won it fair and square. And I'm glad you have, really, because it'd have been a shame if we'd gone to the end of the 20 seasons and one of us hadn't won it. So
yeah.
So that's brilliant. Well done.
You put up a bloody good fight though, considering this is the first time you ever did it. I can't believe how many times it was switching over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Obviously, I took the early start with the Leipzig first season win.
You were flying, weren't you? Then.
Yeah. And straight with a Newcastle and knocked up another one.
Yeah.
But then right after that, it was when the comeback came on, and that was a good fight. But I thoroughly enjoyed Glory Hunt, and I'm glad you all have as well. For everything that you've been putting down in the comments, we've absolutely loved seeing it all. We've absolutely loved entertaining you with this series. It's not going to be the end just there. We do have other things planned, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've lost, so I don't like losing, so I'm coming back.
Yeah,
I'm coming back.
Absolutely. So we've got other challenges that we want to take a hit at as well and have a go at. But I really hope you've enjoyed it. So make sure you are subscribed because you don't want to miss what we've got up next. But let's finish off with that final trophy going in to my trophy cabinet. Valiant effort from my dad in his first Glory Hunter attempt, 1 trophy away, and he probably did get screwed over because of those sackings at Leverkusen and Juve. But once I finally overcome the FA Cup, I was ruthless in the Europa League and got the job done in 1 season, completing Glory Hunter in 18 seasons in total at 7 different clubs, and even making it into the Hall of Fame top 10 managers.